Welcome to Narrowboat Precious Jet. My name is Steve Tyrrell and we are currently at Swan Lane Wharf, Swan Lane, Coventry, on the Coventry Canal. Today, this video, we're still on the solar panels. So on the last video you probably saw we had the solar panels mounted on the roof. They're not wired in or anything yet. So this week's jobs is to wire the solar panels up, get the cables run through, connect the solar panels to the charge controller, and then also get the batteries connected up and everything like that, and also decide whereabouts in the engine room I'm having all the electrics mounted. So that's this week's task. And hopefully by the time I'm finished this week, I can think about fitting the floor in the engine room to cover up the batteries, which will make life a lot easier walking through the boat. So hope you enjoy. If you do, don't forget to give me a thumbs up, and also your comments down below. I do love your comments. More comments the merrier. Thank you very much. And also, if you're not subscribed, then please consider doing so. I'd appreciate that also. Okay, join along, see how far we get. Hope you have some fun. Alright. Right, tilted the solar panels up, you can see that now. Just give me access to the cables underneath. So we're going to be wiring these in series, which basically means we'll take one cable from this, connect it to that, and then the two cables will come back into the system so that both panels are joined together. That way in the winter, when it's really in the winter when there's not much sun, I can still gain a little bit of power out the solar panels. So first job we've got to do is wire these up, so split the cable here and then add a couple of those into it. So okay, stand by and we'll crack on. I really ought to record more of the stuff I do. Right, that's the batteries all connected together now. This isn't the final cable I'm going to use, because this is only 25mm cable, and I'm going to use 50mm cable on the batteries and on the cable up to the inverter, just so that I don't get any hot cables when I'm putting a lot of power in or taking a lot of power out. So it's better to be too big than too small. So now we're going to screw the solar converter to the wall. So there's the MPP charger. Going to screw that to the wall under the bilge here. Not under the bilge, sorry, under the gunnels. So that's going to be here somewhere under the gunnels. This is the solar cable. It's all neatly tied up now. Let me show you. So let me show you. The boat's a mess. That's all neatly tied up here now, look. So that's all neatly strapped up with the rest of the cable. You can just see it coming out from under the roof here, look. Coming out there, it comes down through the mushroom under the roof to the edge, and then follows the rest of the wiring. And I've cable tied it all up nice and neat to the rest of the cables. Oh, rubbish, I need to tidy up. So, and it comes out here, and then I need to take this board off here and run it down the back. Okay, so the issue I have at the moment is I've took one panel off there, look, off the wall here in the engine room, and there's another full-size panel on underneath it which goes behind the bulkhead and runs behind that panel there to the window. I need to get my cables down behind this panel, so what I'm thinking is I'm going to cut this panel, trim this panel, you know, probably about there, cut the end off it, and then take this piece out, screw that in behind it, so where they screw this other one in behind it here, take that section out, run my cables down here, and then screw that panel back in, the original screws. As long as I don't screw through the cables, all should be okay. Famous last words. And then while I'm there, I can also run these cables down. Excuse me. These were cables to, they went to a pump for the central heating, which I've removed. That pump was on the wall here. I've removed that now, so I'm going to utilise this, albeit with slightly thicker cables, and I'm going to run that through to the fridge, which is on this side of the boat. So okay, let's trim the end off this panel, and then run the cables in, put the panel back in, put the other panel back on, and then try and put all the trim back on. I've damaged some of the trim, but I've damaged trim throughout the boat, so a lot of the boat's going to want re-trimming, just the edge bits, you know, the bits that cover these bits on the corner and stuff, you know. So yes, it's all good fun when you're having fun, isn't it? Right, let's get this panel cut out. Stand by. So you saw a little bit of grinding there, and all it was is in that gap there was a small nail or a screw head or something just sticking in the way. So all I've done is I've ground it off nice and smooth so that I can fit my cables down behind the panels, no problem at all. Okay, just let you know what it's all about. Good morning. Tuesday the 12th of April. I worked last night. I did get a bit of a sleep this morning, so and I've woke up and it's raining. So because it's raining, I can't open the hatchways, so it's a little bit dark on the boat, I'm afraid, today, guys. However, until I can get some more solar stuff, I'm waiting on a few switches and things like that. There's not a great deal I can do on the solar at the moment, so I'm waiting for wires and switches and boxes and stuff. So I'm going to tackle the mouse damage. Yeah, so we're going to go up the front of the boat, cut a bit of the wire off. I've bought a box of connectors so I don't have to splice and all that sort of stuff, so it'll make life a lot easier. They're called Wago connectors, and they're quite modern, very good, very efficient, and also very safe. So I can connect all stuff together. I don't have to put them in a junction box or anything like that. They're quite happy being, because they're plastic coated and they're all, well, you'll get to see, you'll get to see. Okay, so let's go up the front of the boat and get started on the mouse damage. Okay, just get the light on my mobile phone Where would we be without mobile phones with lights on? So you can see the mouse damage there, and also up in the back corner there, there's mouse damage on that black wire. They seem to have left the brown wire, which is the live wire. Funny that, isn't it? They chewed through the earth wire or the negative wire, but not the positive. So I wonder if they got a bit of a sensation through their teeth as they were chewing into the wire, because there are marks on the wire, but they haven't actually bit into it, or all the way through it, should I say. So this wire runs across the top here. So we're going to try and extend that cable slightly and see if we can shorten it. If not, we'll cut it off and cap it, because I think this cable runs underneath, and under the deck there at the very back there is a socket, and I think that's the socket that this cable runs to. This cable here is also 240. That runs down to the socket that's there that I've pulled out at the moment and I'm doing maintenance on. So yeah, let's try and get the 12 volt fixed first, and we'll see if we can make a bit of space for the 240 volt, and then we'll see what we can do. Okay. Just quickly before we start, I'll show you what I've been buying. So I've got some adhesive lined or resin impregnated heat shrink, so that when you heat it up, it actually bonds itself to the wire and also to the cable head. And also I have bought today, I've been to Screwfix. Let's just try and open this up. And this is the weight. These are the Wago connectors I was telling you about. They're very good. So you got some that are push fit, which I'm not going to use. So they're perfectly good. They're okay. These ones here, what they call the 224s, they're designed more for lighting. These can be used on sockets and stuff. That's not an issue. But what I'm going to use today are these ones here. Look, they've got the little levers on top. So you've got 2-way, 3-way, and then 4-way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-way. Okay. So I can put 2 wires in that, and that's joined. 3 wires in that, they're joined, and then 5 wires in that, and they're all joined. So, but it'll be mainly the 2 wires I'm using. The two joints today I'll be using. Okay, that's what I've bought. It's quite a nice looking kit. There you go. Look, these are the connectors, and they're fully insulated. And all you do is you trim the wire off. It shows you on the back here, that indent on the back. That's how deep, that's how long you trim your wire. So the whole length of this indent here, look. So from there to there to the back here. It's hard to do it with one hand, but yeah, from my nail to the end of the plug, then that's how long you trim your wire. And then you open these clips at the top, and then you push your wire in. Let me do it with 2 hands, because they're supposed to be opened all the way, I think. That's as far as I can get it, but they do open further. So you open up, push the wire in, and then clip them back together, and that's it, safe and secure. Okay. Okay, come with a little trip with me. Right, I have to watch you don't bang me head. So I've been under the tug deck at the very front there to check the wire in that socket. So it's exactly what I thought it was. The 2 brown wires from the side go to the tunnel light at the front, and the brown and the black go to the socket, which I knew anyway. However, so that's these 2 wires here. Look, they go for the socket. Sorry, let me do this so you can see better. If I hold that with the camera and that at the same time, will that work? No. Turn it that way, does that work? Yes. Right, so these 2 wires here, them 2, they run to the socket. These 2 wires here are the tunnel light, so they can be changed and moved. So, messing about under the tug deck, look what I found. Can you see that there, look? I don't know whether you can see that. Let's put the light on it, get the light a bit closer to it. Look, Steve-o. Not too close. Yes, look at that. Drippy drip, 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 drip. So that's one of the places where it's dripping from. I know that now. Looking all the way along the front here, this is under the door at the front. I was worried it was dripping down this gap here in this bit of angle line that surrounds the door. I was worried about that, and also this edge here. by the look of the outside, I didn't think this edge is welded, and I'm still not sure or convinced it is welded, because if you look at there's a bit of heat distortion there. Look, you can see that. I don't know if you can see it. Let's try and get this a bit of a better picture. Right, so you can see there's a bit of heat distortion there. In there, look, that's heat distortion. But when you come over here, actually now I look close, you can see a bit of heat distortion. So we should be okay. It looks like it's welded all the way across. Anyway, other far corner, although it's not dripping. Oh, there is a drip there now, look. I don't know if you can see that. That's a little bit better. You can just see the drip glistening. Yeah, so that corner's dripping as well. So it's the two corners that are dripping, which is kind of, I knew it would anyway because of the cracks in the metal on the outside. So that's just the corners that need welding. I don't need to weld anything here. There's nothing coming down these angles, the door, you know, the door frame angles. There's nothing coming down there at all. All I need to do is probably paint this with a bit of Aqua Steel, and then perhaps red lead it or red oxide it, and then that should be good. But I won't do any of that until I've welded them corners. So them corners definitely need welding. And if I'm going to weld these corners, I want to make sure these wires here are well out of the way. So I've got a plan. So let's go and have a look at the outside and we'll discuss the plan. Okay, so if we look up here again now, where the mouse nest is, or was, these two wires here, this brown and this black wire here, I think you can just see them. They come down, they come all the way down that wall there in that tube, and they come back under the gunnels here, and they power that socket there. Okay? The socket under the tug deck, which I've just shown you, the wires come all the way across the top here, down that tube, and then under the front of the boat. So these wires here are chewed. I don't need to use them wires. I can disconnect those and cut them off short and kill them, trace them back to where they originate and terminate them. That'd get rid of them then, and that stops them being an electrical hazard. But hang on, let's stop this and start again. Hang on a second. So all I need to do is them chewed wires then is bring them back to here, put a stop on it so there's an end, a dead end, and then they're safe. They can stay there as just dead end wires, and in the future I can tag into them and reuse them for something else if I want to. So that's an option. And then this socket here that runs down, so let's go down the bottom corner here. This is all very confusing, I suppose. Right, the two wires in there you can see now that come down, one goes to the socket down there and one goes down there. So all I need to do is T-piece these in here all together, and that, so I'm basically joining this socket, which runs across the top here, back to the fuse board, to the socket under the tug deck under there, and then that bit that used to run the tug deck socket, just cap off and get rid of, and I can join them down here out the way, and that'll be safe enough. And that's what these Wago clips are for, so I can join stuff together and not worry about it, you know what I mean? Okay, so these doubles, I can use this double here, put a single point into it and just leave it, and leave it with a single point in, and that'll be safe then as a dead end. So that's what we can do. So let's cap those off, make it safe, and then we'll get back and we can start putting power back on the boat again, and that'll be all happy and glory. These wires here for the lights, I'm just going to join with the Wago plugs. They'll be quite happy with the Wago plug joint. Okay. Okay, so that's all the joints done and the sockets connected together. This is only a temporary thing, because at some point I am going to completely rewire the 24 volt and possibly even the 12 volt circuits as well, because this wire here, this is for the tunnel light, and that's a very tiny wire considering it runs the full length of the boat. I mean, ideally it should be a lot thicker, something like this maybe, you know, a lot thicker, heavy duty core solid copper wire, but that's very thin, you know. I mean, if it was only running for a foot or so, that'd probably be all right, but when it's running 40 foot down the boat, it's that's, you see there's signs of heat damage there already. Look, see, I don't know if you can see that on the camera. There's definite signs of heat damage on the end of that, which is, I'm wondering if that's the reason why that was changed for this. And this has mouse damage on both, and funnily enough the tunnel light was working, so the sockets under there weren't, but the tunnel light was. Anyway, that's cleaned up now, because I don't think the mouse is going to go up that tube. I still need to sort the tunnel light out, but like I said, I think I'm going to have to rewire that because that's far too tiny. It's just too small, Jimmy. Okay, let's find something else to do. Right, I've switched the I've gone into the settings on the charge controller, and I've changed the battery type to flooded, because that's the type of batteries I've got down here. So solar cables come in here for now. I've got a few more bits I've got to fit, but until then I can still wire these up. So what I'm going to do now is, one of these cables is positive and one of these cables is negative. Not sure which is which at the moment, until we put a tester on it. So I need to go up on the roof, plug the panels in and come back and then test the end of the cables. So Pete will be here in a minute, and Pete's going to give me a hand also. So let's quickly nip up on the roof and plug the panels in, and get it tested ready so we can start putting power onto the solar unit. Charging batteries. Okay, so the batteries at the moment, I've still got to do a lot of work down here. I need to put a switch on the solar panels, so there'll be a circuit breaker on the solar panels so I can isolate them out. There needs to be a positive and a negative buzz bar fitted in here, and also the batteries need to be isolated. And also I need to fit the inverter under here as well, so that's still to come yet. There's not a lot I can do now in here until my new cables arrive and all my buzz bars and stuff arrive, and me and everything else. So until it arrives, there's not a lot I can do here. So I'm going to tidy up my tools, get all them tidied away. I'm going to tidy the heap of rubbish in the front of the boat. You can see it right at the very end there where I took that wood off the front bulkhead. I'm going to tidy that up. I have noticed I have spare bits of wood, spare bits of tongue and groove, so the bits I've damaged, I'm hoping, I'm crossing my fingers and hoping that I'll have enough to repair that bit at the front. That spare tongue and groove came from behind here when I fitted the back of the oven. That's where I cut that out from, so I have spare tongue and groove from there. So yeah, I'm hoping I've got a couple of pieces that'll do just to get me out the doo-doo and get that fixed at the front. If not, if I haven't and I can't do it, then I'll have to think of something else. I'll just put a board up there or something and paint it or whatever. You know, it'll still look nice. I'll make it look nice, but yeah, it'd be nice if it all matched, wouldn't it? Okay. Right, okay, thanks for watching. Hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, then please give me a thumbs up and also comment down below. I do love your comments. And as always, if you're not subscribed and you're enjoying the videos, then please consider doing so. I'd much appreciate it. I'm not here now until Monday, so tomorrow, I mean Thursday today, tomorrow is, I'm going to be helping my son fit a laminate floor in the hallway in the living room of his house tomorrow, so that's where I'm going to be. So I won't be here. So I'm not back until Monday, so I'm going to end the video now. And as always, I'm leaving the boat in a bit of a mess, which is a bit of a pity, but it'll give me something to do first thing Monday morning while a cup of coffee is tidy up. So, yeah, take care of yourself, take care of your families, and I'll see you on the next video. Alright, take care guys, see you soon, see you, bye.